Hey everyone, welcome back to Yum Paleo. Today I'm going to be doing a beef and broccoli stir fry, and we're also going to do a pumpkin mash. So ingredients, what I've got here is I've cut up and taken the skin off half a pumpkin. I've also got 1 kilo of beef here, which is cut up in strips for stir frying, which is just over 2 pounds, 2.2 to be exact. And I've also got 2 broccoli, which I've just cut up all ready to go into our stir fry as well. I've got beef stock here, which is 1 cup. I've got some raw cashew nuts, which we're going to put into it as well. And I've also got some ginger, which we're going to add, and of course some black pepper. So to start with, what I have done is I've put on a pot of water to boil behind me, just so we can start this pumpkin underway, because obviously that's going to take the longest to soften before we can make that into a mash. So once you've chopped up your pumpkin and your water's boiling away, pop it in. Right, so once that pumpkin's all in there, pop the lid on. Now that's going to take about 15 minutes to soften before we can do anything with that. So let that cook away. Now, we're not going to actually start on the stir fry until we've got about maybe 5 minutes of that left to go, and we're going to start cooking all this. So we'll see you back in about 5 minutes and we're going to start on our stir fry. Okay, so it's been about 5 to 7 minutes and I've just checked on the pumpkin and it's starting to go quite soft, so that's good. So I've just turned my pan on here and I'm going to drizzle in a little bit of olive oil, and we're going to start on the beef. So just so the oil's all over the pan. So beef, so we're going to place this in. Right. I'm just going to give that, just so you can try and break it up a little bit. Good, and I've just got that on low. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is grind in some black pepper over the beef. Now you can also, if you like a bit of a chili and spice taste, add in some chili flakes. I'm not going to, but I mean that is an option that you can do if you want it to have a wee bit of a spicy kick to it. Right, so the beef doesn't take long to cook at all, so about, again, 5 to 7 minutes. So you just want it to go that nice brown colour, and then we're going to add in the broccoli. So what I'm going to add into this, basically we want it to turn brown, and then we're going to add in the beef stock. So as you can kind of see, some of them are changing colour now. Good, so I'm going to let that cook for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to probably add in that beef stock to let that cook through. Alright, so as you can see, they've pretty much all gone from red to brown, so that means they're almost done. So I'm going to add in the beef stock. So I've got 1 cup here. So in that goes. Give that a bit of a toss around. And what I'm actually going to do now is I'm actually going to add in the broccoli on top. So add in some broccoli. So I'm going to add all that in. So that's going to sit there. And I'm also just going to grate in a wee bit of ginger. There we go. Just going to Sprinkle that in there. Right, now I'm going to pop the lid on this for a couple of minutes, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come back and add the cashew nuts, and then it's going to cook for a couple more minutes, and then it will be done. So what I'm going to do now is just check on our pumpkin in the background, because I think that should be almost about done. And it is, so we're going to turn that off. Brilliant. So bring that over here. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is we're just going to drain this pumpkin, just so I can make the mash. So do be careful of the steam. Right, so once that's all drained, what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack in a wee bit of pepper into that. Alright, so once you've put the pepper in there, what we're going to add into it is some coconut cream. So I'm not going to add too much. Just drizzle that in there like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to just mix that in. Then you're going to give that a whiz with the blender. So, or you can do it with your spoon, but I want it to be nice and fine, so I'm going to do that with the blender in just a second. Just leave that there because I can see this is bubbling away quite nicely. Again, just be wary of that steam. Right, I'm going to give this a wee bit of a toss. And we're also going to add in our cashew nuts. In go the cashew nuts. And again, just mix everything up. And we'll place the lid on for probably another 2 to 3 minutes while we're mashing up this pumpkin. Right, so I'm going to use the electric one today, just makes it a bit easier. So, just going by that, I'm going to add a little bit more, not a lot, because pumpkin's quite soft anyway, it doesn't need a lot. So, I'm just going to whiz this up. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to start to dish up. So I'll see you back in about a minute's time when we serve. Okay, so now that we've done the mash and the stir fry is ready, I'm going to dish up. So alright. Right, so there you have it. Broccoli and beef stir fry on a pumpkin mash. I hope you enjoy that, and I will see you again soon for another recipe.